Hi everyone, welcome to my live creative time today. My name's Mandy Witherby from Mandy's Papercraft Creations and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in Sydney, Australia. Welcome to another week of creativity. I have got a special card for you today. I'll tell you about that in a moment. Apologies for the slight delay going live today. We just had a storm pick up just before I was about to hit that live button. And so I quickly had to go and bring the car in the garage from outside and had to get the dog sorted because she was freaking out with the lightning and the thunder, more the thunder than the lightning. So I had to get her all sorted and yes, so last minute rush that was unexpected, but all good. We are here now. So, right now, while everyone is finding their notifications that I've gone live, I'll just bring this up on my other devices so that I can see everybody's comments there. So bear with me as I get that all set up. Okay, so there and there. Bring that up on the computer. And we are all good, all set up. Yay! How is everyone today? Let me know how you all are. If this is your first time watching, I've got a hair stuck to my face. Shouldn't be there. Let me know where you're watching from if this is your first time watching. And let me know if you've got a storm where you are as well. I was just having a look on the radar and it looks like it's a fairly small isolated patch, but it's sort of coming across from the west, but it's heading south at the same time. So I'm not sure how much. I think we might just be catching the edge of it actually. I think we're going to miss the worst of it. But the wind kicked up for a moment, it's died back down. So let's, fingers crossed that, that it goes around and that, how bad were those storms the other day? What day was it? Was it yesterday or the day before? There were some really bad storms around and poor Callie was beside herself. She was so stressed. But I know there's been a lot of bad storms up in Queensland as well. My daughter got hit badly last night with the storms on the Gold Coast, and I know Brisbane and surrounding areas have been hit really hard over the weekend. So the weather is going crazy at the moment. My goodness, so it's a good time to be inside where it's safe and warm and do some crafting. Hey Leslie, how are you? Great to have you here. So the weekend, we had a lovely day on Saturday. I had a morning class. It was my first cards and cookies class based around the beautiful card kits that we have. We have so many card kits at the moment and a couple of new ones coming out tomorrow, which is exciting. So yeah, so we had a lovely class in the morning and then the afternoon I had my team gathering. So I had some of my beautiful team members come and join me via Zoom. We had a time of catch up and welcomed all of our beautiful new team members. We've got so many beautiful team members in our new, in our team, in the Papercraft Gems. So that was very exciting. 21 new team members we have, so that's very exciting. Then we had a time of team recognition and then I catch everyone up with some Stampin' Up news and things like that. And then we had some of us stayed and crafted together for a little while afterwards as well, which is always lots of fun. So it was a really lovely day on Saturday. I have to say I was very tired though. Hadn't had much sleep the night before, so I was quite tired and but had an afternoon nap yesterday, which was nice. And then yesterday, so share with me in the comments what you did as well over the weekend. Yesterday, Amber and I went to church in the morning and then came straight home because we were both very tired and then had a nap. And then in the afternoon, I did some more sorting out and tidying up and things out in the studio, doing a bit more rearranging of things as well. So I've got a few more plans for things out there, and so I was working on that. Sorting out some photos, which is always fun. And I found a whole heap of photos that I had totally forgotten about, which obviously I've seen before in the past, but had totally forgotten about, and some of my babies when they were babies, now they're big adults. But yeah, it's always lovely to look back over some of those photos. And my little gorgeous porgeous, my little Jakey, when he was little, he was such a little cutie. He's still a cutie, but now he's a big cutie, but he was such a little cutie back then. And found some more photos of him and some of Amber as well, which I don't remember seeing. I must have seen them before, but I think they must have been ones taken by John's mum or John's dad. And we must have got those back when we when we got some of their photos back, because there was some of her when she was very, very tiny, very new. And it was she was really cute. She was so tiny. She was really petite when she was, well, both the girls were very petite when they were, actually all my 3 babies were petite when they were born. The girls stayed petite and Jake grew very tall. So yeah, but yeah, so fun looking through some photos and bits and pieces. So busy weekend. What about you all? What did you all get up to? Let me know in the comments. So today we have got a project that we're going to be creating. So I have a challenge that I'm part of that's coming up tomorrow, which will be on my blog tomorrow for a blog hop, which will be Tuesday the 4th of November. And it's using non-Christmas specific products to make a Christmas card. So that was my challenge today. So I was racking my brain because I wanted to use some of the brand new product that's come out. And I've got a few of the new stamp sets. Oh, this one's not done up. Hang on a sec. In the new cases that I wanted to share with you today. So I wanted to use something from that. So we'll have a closer look at those in a moment. But I wanted to use something from that to for the project today. So I was racking my brain last night thinking, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? What am I going to make? And then started designing this morning, actually. Well, early this afternoon, I have to say, not even this morning. And it wasn't working. Do you ever have that? When you're trying to, you have something in mind, you're trying to design it and it just doesn't work, and you've got to pivot and change up the layout. So I'm doing something kind of similar, but I think it will still work. But it's going to be different to my original idea, but same kind of idea. Yeah. Anyway, you'll see in a moment. Before we jump into that, hey Dimity, how are you? Great to have you here. Before we jump into that, let me tell you about my next class that I have got coming up. It is the Peaceful Garden card class. We're going to be making 3 beautiful cards, and then as a bonus project, we're going to there's going to be a gift box as well. Now, whether or not we get the gift box made in class or if you make that at home, but you will have enough products to make that the box as well, and we will have instructions for you to make that. So if we don't get that made in class, you can make it at home, but we'll definitely get the 3 classes made. We'll see how we go with the timing. But yeah, this one is open for registrations now. Now, anyone that has already registered, your invoices will be going out either today or tomorrow. I'm going to endeavour to get them out today, but I've got to get the blog ready for tomorrow first. And then yes, I will send out those invoices for those of you who have already registered for this class. So I have already got some people that have registered, but the class is being held on 2 different days. So I've still got seats available in both. Wednesday the 19th of November from 10 a.m. till 1, and then Saturday the 22nd of November from 2 till 5 in the afternoon. So it's a $45 class. It does include product in that class. So you're going to get some designer series paper, some glimmer paper, some ribbon, and some bling in that as well. And then you'll have some left over as well to take home and keep crafting. So let me pop the link for that one in the comments for you. So I'll just pull that up. Here it is, Peaceful Garden card class. Well, it's a card and a box actually, but we just called it card class. Make it easy, keep it simple. There we go. So the link is in the comments. If you're watching back on YouTube, thank you all of those that are coming back to watch the replay as well, both here on Facebook and on YouTube. The link will be in the description on the YouTube video as well, and I'll make sure that it's accessible, and I will be advertising that class again during the week. So registrations, well, actually, hang on a minute, because registrations are closing. Oh, registrations are closing tomorrow. Oops, wrong one, this one. Registrations are actually closing tomorrow. I forgot that they were closing so soon. So yes, definitely jump on this one today if you want to register, because I will have to get the invoices out today or tomorrow because the registrations are closing. So I've got so much to do this week. It's very overwhelming, but we'll get there. We'll get there. So yeah, definitely register for that one today or tomorrow at the latest. I'll leave that out so I remember to remind you towards the end as well. Yeah, it's going to be a great class. The projects are beautiful, and the products themselves are gorgeous as well. So, hey Vicky, how are you? Lovely to have you here. Hey Julie, lovely to have you here as well. Thanks for joining us, ladies. All right, so that is what is happening. So tomorrow, we've got 2 new kits that are going live. So tomorrow, the 4th of November, 2025. Can you believe November is here already? Hope you're all starting to think about Christmas, getting those Christmas cards done, Christmas projects, and I guess everyone's going to start Christmas shopping very soon if you haven't already. So, I haven't even thought about that yet. So that's happening, kits tomorrow, and also tomorrow the November online exclusives release is going live tomorrow as well. Some of those products I have today and I can show you today, and one of which we're going to be using, one of the stamp sets we're using today for our project. So can you hear the birds outside the window? Not sure if the camera's picking that up, but I think because of the storms and the rain, they're looking for shelter. So they've come in under the eaves and they're just outside the window. At least the lightning and thunder has stopped, so that's good. All right, so that's what's happening tomorrow. So be sure to check all of that out in the online store tomorrow, and you'll get to see all of the beautiful new things that are available for you tomorrow. All right, now let me get ready to create this project. I think this project is going to be, well, famous last words. I always say quick and easy, but then sometimes I think that they end up taking me longer than I anticipate. But this one's a pretty simple layout, so we'll see how we go. But this is a layout that you can actually use. A lot of the products you've already got in your stash at home as well, you can use to do this same layout. So, all right, let's tip the camera down and get ready. I'm going to cover up the camera while I transition, just so I don't make you all dizzy. So bear with me. Here we go. All right. Alrighty, let's get the camera all sorted. Find my little spirit level, make sure I've got that straight and flat. Okay, that doesn't look too bad. All right, let's do a little flippity flip and a zoomy zoom zoom. There we go. Okay, I think that's not too bad. All right. Oh, lights would be helpful. Get those out of my face and put them down onto the desk, and that would be helpful. There we go. Okay, good. All right. So any of the products that I show you today will be available. Well, a few of them are already available currently, but the brand new ones, they'll be available from tomorrow, the 4th of November, and you can find them in my online store. Now you can get to my online store two different ways. You can either go via my blog, which is mandyspapercraftcreations.blogspot.com, and then click on the shop link at the top, or you can go directly to my Stampin' Up website, which is mandywitherby.stampinup.net, and then also click on the shop now button at the top of the screen. Okay, so that's those two. Hang on, I haven't got the camera quite straight. I just noticed it's a little bit wonky. So let's see if I can get that a little bit straighter. Yeah, so you'll be able to go to those two places. Now, let me show you. I'll save that one for last. I'm going to show you this one first. And in fact, I forgot to grab out the punch. So this one, so I'll show you some of these brand new products that are going to be available from tomorrow. Let's move this up a little bit so that I can move this up a little bit. So this is the Banner Sayings stamp set. Now you'll notice these are the new cases for the stamp sets. And let me grab one of the old ones so I can show you a size comparison. All right, so we'll get to the punch in a moment. So these are the old stamp cases. They're your old sort of CD type cases or DVD type cases. These ones are going to be replaced now with these new cases, which are like the ones that the dies have been coming in for a long, long time. Well, as long as I can remember. Similar to that, but they are a bit taller, and all of them are now going to be the same size. So you're going to get your stamp sets in these cases, and your dies are going to come in the same cases. So I'll show you what it looks like inside. So it's just got a really simple little flap closure, which is really easy to do. And then your stamps are inside. Now depending on, this is only a small stamp set, but depending on the size of your stamp set as to how big the sheets are in size, this is inside I should say. This one is only fairly small, but this has got lots and lots of beautiful sentiments in it, and they can be used for lots of different occasions. Okay, so we'll pop that back in the packet. So I just put my stamps in between the paper there, but you could always put them in the back if you wanted to, and then just do that up like that. Now the great thing about these is, even though they are taller and they're a little bit wider, as you see there, but look at the width difference. They're going to take up so much less room than the cases, which is going to be fantastic for storage, because you're going to it's going to give you a lot more room to store more stamps, or to take up less room on your shelves. So I think that's going to be really fantastic. Now I'll show you the dies in a moment, but this one doesn't have dies, so I'll show you another set that has dies in a moment and how they look different. This one has a coordinating punch, and it's the 3 banners punch. I haven't labeled this one yet, so that's why I've still got it in the packet, so excuse the noisy wrapping. But this one has got the 3 different labels. So you've got the arrow label, you've got the banner label, and you've got the double-ended banner label, and they fit these sentiments. So that coordinates. So you can get this one together as a bundle. So the Banner Sayings stamp set and punch, you can get them together as a bundle, or you can purchase them individually. Okay, but I think they are discounted as a bundle from memory. So yeah, just double check that before you order them. But this is great because there's so many different sentiments for different occasions in there. So that's a really awesome one. And I love a good banner punch. I was so sad when all the other ones got discontinued. All right, this one is one of my current favorites. This is the Big Little Things, and of course I love animals, as you all know. Hey Leonie, how you going? Oh yes, I was a little bit delayed today. I'm sorry because the storm came through very briefly, and I had to race out in the rain and go and get the car in and put it in the garage. And then Callie was going crazy with the thunder, so we had to get her sorted and get her settled and get her upstairs and everything before I could go live. So it was a little bit chaotic just at in the last few minutes before I was about to go live. So my apologies, I was a little bit late, but all good. So this one, of course, I love with the animals. They are so adorable. Cute sentiments as well. Now, let me tell you a little story. Okay, this is not a dugong. This is a manatee, okay? Most of you know, well, a lot of you would know that my daughter used to work with the dugong at Sea Life Sydney Aquarium at Darling Harbour in Sydney. And she used to work with him for about 7 years. She was working with him, and she used to do training with him and things like that. So when I saw this one, I had to get it, even though this is a manatee, not a dugong. And the way that you can tell the difference is the shape of their face is a little bit different. The big difference is the shape of their tail. So a manatee has a paddle-shaped tail, and a dugong has a fluted tail, similar to a dolphin's tail. So that is how you know the difference. Their body shape is a little bit different as well. But because the manatee is a relative of the dugong, I thought I still had to get this stamp set anyway, and I loved the other beautiful animals on there. It is a distinctive stamp set, so you get the shading on there as well, which I love, to give you a bit more detail. And I did create a birthday card for my daughter with this stamp, which I will post up later in the week. Her birthday was a couple of weeks ago, and she came home just after her birthday because she had been ill, so she had to postpone her trip home. But she did come home for a few days, and I was able to give her card. So I will post that. I don't have it here to show you because she's taken it back with her, but I will show you a stamp made with that, a card made with that stamp. But these are really adorable. And I was trying to work out today if I could do a Christmas card incorporating these animals, but I just couldn't get my head around it last night because I really wanted to use this stamp set again today. But that's okay. We'll do some other projects with that at another time. So yeah, really cute. The animals are, so one thing to note with this new packaging, it doesn't tell you the size of the stamp. You know how on the old packaging it would say images at 85% or 75%. This one's 85%, but you would always know that the stamps inside would be bigger. This new packaging doesn't have that, okay? So you don't really know the true size of the stamps until you open the packet. But this one is pretty true to life. It is 100%, this one. Whereas one of the other new ones I have is not 100%. But yeah, so this one is at 100%. So the size you see on the stamp case is the size inside. Now, I love animals as well, and my daughter, of course, loves animals. She works with marine animals up in Queensland, and she works in education and conservation. So, but prior to that, she worked down here with the dugongs and the penguins and the stingrays, also working with training and conservation. But of course, I've always loved animals, and in my early working years, early, I also worked with animals, but more domestic animals. But I grew up with animals. I've always had, I grew up with cats, lots of cats, birds, guinea pigs, even had some pet mice a few times, fish. I got my first own dog at the age of 16, and then a few months later I got a second dog, which was a rescue. In that same year, and then I've had dogs ever since. I developed a severe allergy to cats, and so did the children, so we ended up having to get rid of all the cats. Well, actually we had the cats until they passed away, but then we didn't get any more cats after that, and we've had dogs ever since. But we've had fish, we've had birds, yeah, never had a rabbit though. What about everyone else? Do you all have pets? Let me know in the comments what sort of pets you have or what sorts of pets you have owned in the past. But I've always loved animals, always loved visiting the zoo and seeing all the different animals and interested in all the nature programs. So anytime there's a set with animals, I always want to have it. So this one's just beautiful. So anyway, so that's a little bit about that one. Okay, this one is a stamp and die set. Okay, so this is a bundle. So here's the stamp case, so same as the other ones. And then you'll notice that the die case is exactly the same, but at the top it tells you that it's a stamp and cut and emboss, that it contains stamp and cut and emboss dies, and then the name is below that. Okay, whereas this one has the name of the stamp set at the top, and with this one the name is just below there. So if you're looking for it, this is where you want to know. But this is a good idea though, because then it clearly identifies quickly that these are the dies, and you'll also notice that the imagery on the front is like shadows of the images of the dies. Okay, so that's how you can sort of see the difference. Now this one I was going to use, I also wanted to use today. I wanted to use all the new ones today, but this one I couldn't get to work for anything Christmas. Now this one has got these additional dies in here, which I'll show you. They create a pop-up inside your card so that you can have the flowers popping up inside your card in like a little flower box, which is really, really cute. So here's the dies. These are your two pop-ups, so they will cut and score the pop-up for inside your card. And these two little pieces here are the little flaps to go over the top of the pop-up to give them a bit of extra detail, so they look like a little flower box. And then these are the dies that are going to cut out your shapes. So the stamp set with this one with the pop-up petals is a 2-step stamp set. You've got the pots are solid shapes, so they're just a single stamp. See, this packet is a lot bigger. See how big that is in there? And these stamps are a little bit bigger than the images on the front. So I would say probably 85% the images on here, because the stamps are actually bigger. But that's a lovely big sheet of stamps. Oh, actually they go around that way. That's the right way up. So yeah, 2-step stamping. So you've got the outline design or the line art design. So you can color that using your own color tools, color mediums, or you can do 2-step stamping and just have it done really quickly for you and use the solid shapes to add the color to your stamping. So we will use that in a future live, because I really like that one. And you've got a little butterfly there as well. You've got some really lovely sentiments there. So again, you can purchase them together as a bundle, or you can just purchase them individually, but I think you'll really want the dies. If you get that stamp set, you're going to really want the dies to cut out the images, and then also to create that pop-up really quickly and easily, so you don't have to do lots of cutting and measuring and cutting yourself. Okay, and then they can be stored on the shelf together, or you can store them separately, however you choose to do your storage. I know a lot of people have been buying storage containers from Kmart and Big W to store their packets in, but look at that, it's even less space than one old stamp case, and that's the stamps and the dies together. So how cool is that? Yeah, so that's a really beautiful one to look out for. Now let's see, Leonie says always had cats and dogs, and now Leonie has 4 cats and 1 dog. Oh, beautiful. That's lovely. This pets are just so beautiful, aren't they? Like, their love is so unconditional, and they're just such companions, aren't they? They're just beautiful. All right, and this one is the one that we are going to be using today. It's called Our Story. This one is more geared towards scrapbooking, but you can use it for lots of other things. And of course, we're going to be using it for card making today. Here's the stamps. I had them pulled out earlier. I've already taken some of the stamps off the sheet here because we're going to be using some of those today. So I've put them on some blocks. And the stamps here are much smaller on the imagery than the actual stamp. So this border one we're going to be using today, but that is the actual size of the die. So I would say, of the stamp I mean. This stamp set doesn't have dies that comes with it. It's just a standalone stamp set. So I would say these ones are probably at 75%, maybe 80% on the cover. So just know that the stamps inside are much bigger. So the Friends one down here is much bigger than the image there. Okay, so just know that. So yeah, I bought this one actually for my scrapbooking. I thought I really loved the sentiments on there and the words on there that I can use in my scrapbooking. And I loved all the extra little bits and pieces, the little borders, the little heart, the little filigree. Not filigree. I'm not sure what that one's called. Does anyone know what that one is called? What's that? Those little ones called? Not filigree. They have a name and I can't think what they're called. But anyway, somebody might know. Beautiful frame, and then you've got these leafy parts as well. So we're going to be using the leafy ones, the frame. We might use this little one. I'm not sure yet, but our focus is going to be on these two here. Okay. And we're going to use this stamp set to make a Christmas card, believe it or not. So I'm going to show you my ideas with this one because it's a non-Christmas specific stamp set. We're going to make a Christmas card with it. So I'm going to show you, and you might have something else in your stash that you can swap out for the things that I'm using from this stamp set today that you can use to make a Christmas card as well. This might help you to think outside of the box of how to create Christmas cards. Now, I was really trying to use some of the sentiments in here for a Christmas card, but it kind of wasn't working. So I'm pulling in as well the Greetings for All Mix and Match Ephemera Pack. Now, these are not Christmas specific, but they have got greetings for all occasions. And there happens to be a couple of Christmas greetings in there as well. So I'm cheating and I'm going to use those. But it's not a Christmas specific product. So yeah, so that's what I'm going to use today. So I'll pop that over to the side. Actually, I'll put the rest of my stamps back in there. And I'll pop that back in the case. And we're also going to be using some designer series paper that is not Christmas from the Regal's 6x6 designer series paper pack. And we're going to be using some, so the DSP in here is all of the colours in the Regal's range. Okay, so we've got Blueberry Bushel, Cajun Craze, Crushed Curry, Cherry Cobbler, Garden Green, Gorgeous Grape, Old Olive, Pretty Pink, Real Red and Shaded Spruce. So we're going to use the Real Red out of here today. And I'll show you the designs on the papers in a moment. But these are available in each of the colour collections. So you've got the Regals, the Subtles, the Regals, the Subtles, the Neutrals and the Brights. Okay, and then also they're available in the in colours as well. So I'll show you, just tip out all my bits that I'm using. Hang on a second here. All right, so that's the one you saw on top. Okay, and then this is the one we're actually going to use today, the leafy one, because I thought this we can really use for Christmas as well. Wait until you see how I use it in the background. And then these are double-sided as well. So you get these in each of the colours of the colour collection in that paper pack. It's a great way of getting a whole heap of paper in the different colours that are going to match your inks, your colouring tools, or your embellishments, your ribbons, etc., and your cardstocks. So yeah, so that's what we are using today. So we're going to, I chose this one in the end. Okay, so here are my bits and pieces for my card. So I'm using a cherry cobbler card base. Now this is half of an A4 sheet, so I've just cut that in half at 14.85. Okay, so we're going to score that and make a card base. Then we need a piece of the designer series paper, and today I'm using white willow cardstock because I'm using those sentiments that I showed you from the ephemera pack, and they have more of a cool white base to them rather than the basic white. The basic white is a bit warmer tone in the cardstock, and it was really sort of not blending well. So I went with the white willow, and it blends in a lot better. It's still a little bit of a different color tone, but it's a lot closer to the white willow than it was to the warmer basic white. Okay, so that's why we're using that one today. So inks I've got today are Granny Apple Green, sorry, Garden Green, Granny Apple Green, and Real Red. I've also got a dark Real Red Stampin' blend because we're going to be colouring some embellishments today. And I've got a few different ribbons and twines over there that we'll choose in a little bit. Okay, so let's get crafting. We are going to score our card base. Now oh, hi Janelle, how are you? Lovely to have you here. Now who else is crafting along with me today? So this measures 21 centimetres by 14.85 centimetres. And I'm going to score this on the long side at 10.5 or 10.5 centimetres using my light grey scoring blade. Give that a few little goes. And then I'm going to use the edge here and the edge here on my trimmer to pop that into the corner and make sure that I get that all squared up and folded nice and evenly. And then I'm going to burnish that folded edge with my bone folder to make sure that that is nice and crisp. Okay, so that's our card base. That's cherry cobbler. Next we've got the Real Red designer series paper, and I'm going to cut this as a layer for the front of the card. So we're going to cut this at 14.45 long by 10.1 wide. So I'm going to turn it and do the 10.1 first. Actually, I'm going to turn it this way. I'll cut it from the top. So 10.1. So it's one little eyelash, as they say, past the 10. Okay, so then we've got that nice piece preserved for another project, okay? And then we'll turn it long ways, and we're going to go 14.45. So that's just halfway between the eyelash and the short eyelash and the long eyelash of the measurements there. Okay, and that just gives us a layer, and we've got that extra little strip. We can use that to decorate the inside of the card, so you can keep that piece as well. All right, and then that's just going to give us a nice layer like that. Okay. The next piece I've already got cut, and that is my white willow, and I've already got that cut. Yep, goes that way up, and that is going to layer on. Whoop, might need to change my blade soon, I think. That's going to go layer on here, but we're going to stamp on that first. But see how the colours are all coming together now? And with having the cherry cobbler behind the Real Red, it gives it a deeper border, so it gives that more of a lift. Okay, and then I've got the extra piece. What did I have that extra piece for now? Now I have to think why I've got an additional piece. Why did I have the additional piece? This one is for the frame. I don't know why I had the additional piece now. Why did I have this one? Amber, why did I have this one? This one is smaller. I think that one is not the right size. I don't know why we had two different pieces. At the last minute we were scrambling because we were trying to get organized. So that one's 9.1 by 13.45. 45. I think that's the one we were going to use. I don't know why I had this extra one. Spare piece for the frame, just in case. Ah, okay, awesome, thank you. All right, I was wondering why she chucked in an extra piece there for me. Okay, all right, we're going to do our stamping on here first. So we're going to pop this to the side. I'm not going to glue any of that down yet because it depends on what we decide to do with ribbon and trim and all of that. Janelle's crafting along with us today. Fantastic. She's designing her next rack card for this month. Oh, fantastic. That's lovely, Janelle. So for anyone who doesn't know what a rack card is, R-A-K, it stands for a random act of kindness. So they are cards that we create and send out to people just because, just as a random act of kindness. All right, just have a sip of my tea. Okay, now grid paper. I've got some grid paper here. This is one that I was designing with earlier, as you can see. So we got a few steps here. I'm going to pop my sentiment aside as well. We've got a few little steps we're going to do here first. So what we want to do, now I've got a, this is just a, I just cut this with scissors, so this isn't the one I'm going to be using, but I did stamp a frame earlier just to get the general gist of the size that I was working with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this one as a template, but this isn't the final finished one for the card because I'll cut it much more neatly. So I'm going to roughly work out where the center of the card is. I want to have that centered about there. And then I'm going to draw a faint line around that piece. Okay, we're going to rub that out later. But I'll just draw that around. Whoops, that just moved. Oh dear. Get that lined back up. Okay, so I've got that drawn roughly, very roughly. This isn't even cut straight, so it's all good. Got that there in the middle. I'll grab my eraser out so I've got that ready to rub that out. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our two green inks, so our garden green and our granny apple green. We're going to start with the garden green first. We're going to get our little leafy images. Now there's two and they curve in opposite directions, okay? So be sure that you know which one you're using for whatever your project is. Just double check that you've got the right one curving in the right direction. For this one, for this particular project, it doesn't matter too much. So what we're going to do is we are going to stamp these little florals, or these, not florals, these little foliage, that's what I should say, foliage around the card, overlapping that line, okay? So I'm going to do them at different heights. I'm leaving a gap in between so that I can put this one in there as well. So just inking up each time. I am using full strength. Now, if you want to, at this point, you can turn your cardstock around, or you can just turn your stamp around so that you've got it in the correct orientation. So depending on which way you want to work with it. Okay, so there's that one. Now we're going to take our granny apple green. So it's kind of like a wreath. A wreath is what I had in my mind, but I couldn't work out how to get a nice circular wreath with this, using these two stamps. So I just thought, well, you know what? I wanted to use that, and this stamp, this sorry, this ink pad is very inky because I inked it up just before we went live and it's super inky now. So we're just going to go around. I'm going in the opposite direction now, you'll notice. So just create this beautiful little wreath that's not a round wreath, but it's a foliage. It's a little foliage, well, collection of foliage, I guess you'd say. There we go. Okay, beautiful. All right. So we've got our two different colours there. We'll give those stamps a clean. Oh, I just bashed my finger. Nope, didn't bleed. All good. I was thinking, oh no, I don't have any Band-Aids nearby. I don't think it bled. I don't think it's going to bleed. Just bashed it on my computer stand. It's all good. All right, okay. So that's our little wreathy part. Now I'll let that ink dry before I rub out that pencil line, but you kind of get the gist there, okay? Very simple, very easy to do. All right, now we're going to take our real red. Let's pop that one to the side. I've got a scrap here of white willow. Now, if you wanted to, you could cut this down first, but I want to cut this fairly close to the frame. So I thought if I tried to stamp this and get that straight on a really narrow piece that I've already pre-cut, I might have trouble. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to cut it afterwards and we'll see how we go with this. All right, so I'm turning the stamp face up and I'm taking the ink pad to the stamp because the stamp is a little bit bigger than the ink pad itself. Okay, so we're going to ink that up. Stamp that there somewhere on the cardstock. Give that a moment for the ink to transfer and nice even pressure. Beautiful, look at that. Isn't that a gorgeous frame? Such beautiful detail on it, I love it. Now because I've used a deeply pigmented red ink, my stamp is going to stay a little bit pink, but that's okay, it doesn't alter how it functions. It's still going to work really well, but we just want to make sure we give a really good clean to that stamp and get off as much of that surface ink as we can. If you've got Stampin' Mist, you could use a Stampin' Mist on this with your Stampin' Scrub, but then always make sure that you clean it off on your chamois afterwards to take off any of the chemicals from the Stampin' Mist. All right, there we go. So that's nice and clean. Okay, and now I'll let that dry for a minute, and while that's drying, let's rub out our pencil mark here. Now I did have another idea for this as well. We'll see how we go for time with this one as to whether or not we get time for the second card. I do have another idea in my mind for another one, but we'll see how we go. All right, so now we've rubbed that pencil mark out on that one, and now this one we're going to trim. So I'll bring back in my trimmer, and we're just going to trim this quite close to the design. In fact, I got that really, really close. You know what? I'm just going to switch my blade around. So I feel like it's getting blunt on that side. So I'm going to flip it around and put it back in my trimmer. That's something you can do if you find that your blade is starting to get a little bit blunt. I usually cut in the same direction all the time, and it does tend to make one edge of my trimmer blade go blunt a bit quicker. So then I usually get a bit more out of it when I turn it around. And also another thing you can do is grab a scrap of cardstock, run it down the track of your trimmer to get out any of that crud that is sitting in the track, because that can also affect your, see, look, all of that came out of the track. That can affect the cutting of your pieces as well. because the blade gets caught on those little pieces down in the track. Okay, oops. And then we'll turn it this way, and I'm going to trim up this edge. Uh-oh, that just caught in my, okay, oh no, okay, I tore it. I'll have to do another one. Lucky Amber gave me that extra. Okay, I might actually change my blade, I think. Let me grab a new blade. 2 secs. It was probably because I was trying to cut such a fine little piece of cardstock off there. And if the blade is starting to go a little bit blunter, I'll keep this blade though, because it's still got good life in it on that cutting edge. Because you've got the two, I don't know if you can see that, but you've got the two cutting edges. And so one of those edges is still okay, but because I'm cutting a very fine little piece off, I'll transition to a brand new blade and we'll see if we get a better cut. So the blades, when you buy the replacement blades, they come in a pack of 4. They're very, very sharp, so be careful when you get them. And to pop your blade in, there's a little groove, a little notch, I should say, just here at the base. So you just pop in one edge first. So you tilt it and pop one edge in and slide it up, and then snap the other edge in. Okay, so I'm just going to do a practice cut on this one first, just to be sure. Oh, cut like butter, much better. See, there we go. All right, so I'm going to stamp another one of these because I wrecked that one. Lucky we have a spare piece of cardstock. Okay, ink pad to the stamp. Ink that up nicely, and I'll stamp it over to the side this time so I don't have to cut off as much. Nice firm pressure. Beautiful. I love this stamp. So pretty. Okay, I'll just take off the excess ink before taking it to my chamois. That just helps me to keep my chamois a little bit cleaner for a little bit longer. Some of the ink will still come off on it, of course, but the less ink that goes into your chamois, the better, because then you don't have to rinse it as often. Okay. I forgot to mention though too, the new stamp cases, they are going to be available in a 10 pack. So if you wanted to transfer any of your previous stamps that were in the original cases into these new cases to save on space, you can actually purchase these as blanks, as empty cases in a pack of 10. They'll be available from tomorrow, the 4th of November. And the blank cases of these ones will also be available ongoing as well. So these come in a 4 pack if you want the blank cases. If you wanted to keep using these types of cases, you can as well. Okay, so you've got the 2 options there. All right, let's trim this now. Hopefully that ink will be dry enough. Give this another go. Like I don't have that quite straight. There we go. Beautiful. Good. Okay, that worked well. Line that up. I was actually just thinking, I wonder if any of the rectangle dies would actually fit this stamp. I didn't actually try them, to be honest, but there you go. You can do it easily with your trimmer anyway. So that's worked out really well. Now this piece, this is a good size piece that I can still use for stamping another image. I mean another sentiment. So I will keep that in my my scraps, and this one as well. So don't throw out those little scrappy bits. Okay, so I was going to put this on here, save me stamping it. I mean, I can use, you can use a Christmas stamp if you have one, but I was trying to use non-Christmas products. Now, you can either stick that flat or you can pop that up on dimensionals. We might pop it up. I love a bit of dimensional on my projects. So I'll use up some of these minis that I have here. There we go. Use up some of these edge pieces. Using up all my bits and pieces from this sheet, because we don't want to waste them. Oops, got an extra bit there. There we go. Okay. All right, so I will add that to the frame. Again, if you have a stamp, you can stamp your sentiment on there. I'm just going to pop this down in the middle. Might need to go a little bit more to the right. Whoops. Now, if you wanted to add a bit of extra colour to the sentiment, this one, you can, because they're printed on white cardstock, so you can always add extra colour if you wanted to, but I wanted the white on white and just have the black sentiment stand out. And then this is now going to get mounted onto here. Okay, but I might not do that yet. I might wait. I might wait till we decide on what we're going to do with the other parts of the layers. So really simple layout, hey, but very effective. Look, can you see how our Christmas card is coming together now? Okay. All right, so now I've got to think about the twine and the bling. Well, the bling can be added later, but the twine or ribbon, I've got some red and white baker's twine. I thought that might be nice. I've also got the baker's twine essential pack, so we've got the different colors in there, and I was thinking maybe the white, but we've already got a lot of white. I've got linen thread, which is always great for anything because it's neutral and it goes with everything. And then I've got two white ribbons here. This one is actually on the last chance, or was last time I looked. It's the white, it's just called white ribbon, 1/4 inch. There was another one that was 1/2 inch, which just discontinued, but this is a 1/4 inch one. Hey Amanda, how are you? Lovely to have you here. And this one is the Misty Moonlight and white 1/4 inch starter pack ribbon. So it comes in a spool of the Misty Moonlight, which I didn't pull out, and a spool of the white. And this is a really nice one. It's really nice and light, really nice for tying nice bows. And being that it's white, you can color that to whatever color you want. But I think we might try the red and white twine, and we'll see how we go with this one. So I'm thinking about tying it around here. I think I will just leave that layer as it is. I don't think I'll wrap this all the way around that. So I think I'll just wrap it around this layer. So let's have a go and see how this looks. So just wrap that around a few times. We'll go 2, we'll go 3, and then we'll tie a bow on this end. So we'll leave a bit here tie a bow over here. There we go. So how's everybody going with their Christmas cards? How many have you all got made so far? Let me know in the comments. Oh, we don't have much of an end on that one. Okay, so what we can do is, I just need to pull that around a bit more. There we go. Pull that around. And there we go. How's your day been, Amanda? You had a good day? Did you get storms out there today? We had a storm that we just caught the edge of it, just kind of blew through. We had a bit of lightning and thunder and a little bit of rain and wind, and then it went as quickly as it came. It only lasted a few, like probably 10 minutes, if that, 5 minutes. There we go, and we'll pull that down towards the bottom a bit more. Janelle says, what Christmas cards? Oh dear, Janelle. Oh, time to get started. It's already November. Oh, that's all good though. You've still got time. You've still got time. It's all good. There. Yeah, I think that'll be great. All right, let's do that. So we'll put a bit of adhesive on here. So thankfully, I've made a few for different things, for different classes and different challenges and things like that, using some new products. But I have to say, I'm thankful for my Christmas card buffet, because we actually had some cards left over from Christmas card buffet. And so guess what? I'll be making those up as some of our Christmas cards to go out this year. So I'm lucky in that we have the leftovers to, and they're beautiful cards. Nothing like last minute. I know, Janelle, I've been there, done that. Yes, I totally understand. All right, so now to decide if we pop this up on dimensionals, I think we might, I don't know if we pop that one up on dimensionals and that one flat. Yeah, I think that's what we'll do. Oh, that one would look nice up too. Then we've got the sentiment up as well. So I think what I'll do is I'll pop this one up on dimensionals and I'll stick this one down flat, and then we've got our sentiment popped up on dimensionals too. Depends on how many layers you want to have, really. All right, I need some more dimensionals, so I'm going to open up a brand new packet. I love opening new packets of dimensionals. So in each pack of dimensionals, if you haven't seen them before, but most of you probably already have, these are the regular size, and you get 3 sheets in there. So what I like to do, because sometimes it's hard to see if you've removed the backing paper, I like to take my Sharpie and just draw lines. You've probably all seen me do this before. Draw lines on the backing paper so that when I put these onto my projects, I can see which ones I've removed the backing paper from and which ones I haven't, because sometimes it's a bit hard to see, especially at night time. My eyes just are not what they used to be, and sometimes at night time it's really hard to see finer little details. So with having the backings marked with the marker, I can see if I've removed them or not easily without trying to find good light to see if I've removed them. So we're going to put some of these down here. I am going to add a layer, or a row, I should say, of small ones down along the bottom here just to support that, but we need the minis for that because that's quite fine. And I've got most of my minis used, but oops, let's grab my adhesive scissors. And I'm just going to use up some of these edge pieces. I'll use up these ones first too. And we'll put some of those down here, just below the twine. grab one of these ones here as well, just to go below that twine there. And then we can pop that one down. So very simple design, this one, but makes a beautiful Christmas card. And so it just goes to show that any foliage stamps that you have, you can use to make Christmas cards. So you just stamp them in your Christmas colors, use some paper that has Christmas colors, either green or red. You might like to do like neutral tones and have them, you know, have like a rustic sort of look, but just very simple layers. Just trying to get this straight. There we go. And then we're going to pop this one down just with some, actually I'm going to use, oh yeah, I'll have to use dry adhesive now, because I've already put my sentiment on there. Sorry, I'm going to use multi-purpose liquid glue. I was going to use a dry adhesive on the back of that because it's white, but it doesn't matter because I've already put the sentiment up on dimensionals. Sorry, I'm thinking my brain is going faster than my mouth, believe it or not. There we go. Oh, thanks, Janelle. Glad you like that. Yeah, so there we go. And then we're going to add some of the, again, not Christmas specific product, but this is the iridescent pearl jewels, basic jewels, sorry, iridescent pearl basic jewels. And we're going to color some of those with our dark real red Stampin' Blend. And because this is, I might actually use the smaller ones or the larger ones. I think I might use some of the larger ones because this is an alcohol marker. It'll dry on non-porous surfaces because of the alcohol. It just dries really quickly. So I like to just give a couple of coats. So I just go around a couple of times on my embellishment. And the great thing is with these is the shine still comes through on your embellishments. So I'm going to do some in that, and let's do a couple of little ones as well. Yeah, so you get that shine and that shimmer coming back through the pearls, through the marker. So there we go. And they just take a few little moments to dry, but not very long at all. Oh yeah, great idea for those people who aren't into Christmas like you, Leonie. Yeah. So you can always alter things up, which is great. Whoops. There we go. All right, and then we're going to add some of these little pearls to make them look like little Christmas berries. Whoop. We'll add them here and there. They don't have to necessarily all be on the foliage. Might like to add some little ones as well here and there. I've got quite a few that are coloured, so we can go crazy with the berries. Let's add one over here. Might put a little one over here. Let's pop one over here. We sort of, I'm trying to stagger them a little bit so that they're not all sort of all in line. I might just move this one up a little bit. It's kind of a little bit in line with the other one. We don't want that. So let's pop a little one up here. Oh, I'm really happy with how this is coming out with all of the little berries on there as well. Just really makes a difference having those berries on there, doesn't it? And then we'll add another one up here. So how many have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wait, where did I start? Here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We've got an odd number. Perfect. There we go. So there we go. We've got 2 more little berries there that we could add. But I kind of like the balance of what we have there. We've got 3, we've got 4, we've got 2, we've got 2. I think that's fairly well balanced. We might leave that there. Because, you know, sometimes you can go a little bit crazy and go a little bit too much. So there we go. There's our project for today. And that didn't take too long to make, did it? So we've got our beautiful twine. So let's have a look again at the non-Christmas products that we used to make this card. We used the Regals Designer Series paper. We used the Our Story stamp set, brand new, available from tomorrow, the 4th of November, 2025. We used the Real Red and White Baker's Twine. We used the Iridescent Pearl Basic Jewels. And we used the Greetings for All Mix and Match Ephemera, which isn't Christmas specific either. So there you go. And then, of course, we used our inks and our Stampin' Blend. So there you go. So that's what we ended up with. Now, one thing I didn't do is I always like to roughen up the ends of my twine because I like a little bit of texture. So I just like to separate the ends of that twine with my fingers just so that it's not blunt on the end, just to add a little bit of texture. And there we go. We have a sweet little Christmas card. What do you think? Nice, quick and easy, wasn't it? Yeah. I have another idea as well, but I won't go ahead and make that now because I'm just looking at the time. But I'll tell you what my other idea was. Instead of using this frame here, it was to use a circle as a template. And I might actually even do this and put that up on my page later in the week. Get a circle, get a blending brush, use a circle as a mask, use your blending brush around the circle, and then stamp the leaves, the foliage, around the circle, but then remove that circle as a mask and then put another circle, like what we did with this, but do it with a circle, you know, and then place the circle down with your sentiment, etc. So I might do one like that as well. But yeah, I think that turned out really well. So there you go. Whoever would have guessed that you'd be able to use this stamp set that is intended for scrapbooking for a beautiful Christmas card. So there you go. All right, I'm going to tip the camera back up to my face so that I can say goodbye to you properly. So bear with me. Here we go. Alrighty, let's adjust that. So definitely go to the online store tomorrow. Check out all those beautiful new products. So I only showed a few today. I know you're going to be seeing this back to front now because I can't flip the camera, but how beautiful did that turn out? And so quick and easy. You could pump out so many of these really quickly. Yeah, and by changing up the paper in the background as well, so you could use those other designs from the designer series paper, because there's that one as well. You could use that in the background or that one. And then there's the cherry cobbler as well. So you got the cherry cobbler. And if you were using the cherry cobbler, you could change the layout, because I've got cherry cobbler card base and then the real red, but you could do real red card base with the cherry cobbler on top too. So you still get that little bit of a border around the edge there. But how cute did that turn out? Really happy with that. And then you can use your Christmas stamps if you want to use your Christmas stamps there as well for your sentiment. Lots and lots of ideas. So I hope you feel inspired. Oh, thanks so much, Leslie. Thank you. Have a great evening too. So I hope you feel inspired to make some Christmas cards. see what's on your shelf. Grab out some of those foliage stamps, or grab out your foliage dies as well, because we've got so many different beautiful foliage that you can use with your dies doing the same sort of idea. You could use, if you've got any of the stitched rectangle dies or any of the rectangle dies, you could do it, or even do it with circles or even square dies. Yeah, so it doesn't have to be a printed frame as such like we've used here. You could just use a die, add a bit of ink around the edge. Yeah, so many different ideas. So, oh, good, Janelle. I'm glad you like all those ideas. So I look forward to hearing what you've made next time, Janelle. Hopefully some beautiful Christmas cards. There we go. All right, well, I hope you all have a great week. If there's anything I can help you with, feel free to get in contact with me. Send me a message via Messenger, or you can text me or ring me. If I don't answer the phone, just leave a message, because I'm often busy with meetings or different things, so I don't always answer the phone straight away. So just leave me a voicemail and with your number, and I'll call you back. But yeah, if there's anything that I can help you with, or you've got any questions, let me know. So I hope you all have a great week, and I hope you get some crafting in there somewhere during your week. And remember too, I've got my class coming up. If you are in Sydney, feel free to register for this one, the Peaceful Garden card class. We're going to be making 3 beautiful cards and a gift box, a little gift box. You're going to get product in this class as well, and you will have some left over as well to take home and keep crafting at home as well. But it's going to be on 2 different dates, Wednesday the 19th of November for a morning class, and Saturday the 22nd of November for an afternoon class. But the registrations do close tomorrow, the 4th of November. So definitely get your registrations in. And those that have already registered, as I said, I will be sending out the invoices across today and tomorrow. So definitely make sure that you have registered for that class before the end of tomorrow. Registrations will close at 9 p.m. on the 4th. Okay, so I have to close them off at some point. So have a great week, everyone. And I look forward to seeing you all again next week, next Monday at 4 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time. Have a great week, everyone. Happy crafting. Bye.